everything should be working. So with it being, you know, Thanksgiving and all that, or well, tomorrow being Thanksgiving, I figured I'd do a little reminiscing and play some Mario Kart Super Circuit, the second video game I ever owned. My first video game was a Winnie the Pooh Game Boy Color game that came bundled with a new Game Boy Advance, which was kind of ridiculous. Who bundles a Game Boy Color game with a Game Boy Advance? I haven't played this game in forever. Back in the day, I used to be pretty good at it. So I'm going to be playing on 50cc until I get the hang of it. Maybe go through all the courses, if I can get to them all. One of the really cool things about the red shells in the older games, or at the very least I know for this game, is when you fire them behind you, they just stay there, and when somebody gets close to it, it hones in on them and takes them out. Oops. This game was really fun back in the day. Toad and Peach have the fastest stats. They're the fastest characters with the least amount of weight. And in this game, you don't hold the gas to start. It's like Double Dash. You have to, oops. You have to press the gas right when the light turns green. Although also like the older games, I should probably find myself a shell to protect me. I think that track was shorter than the first one. This was one of my favorite tracks on the Game Boy, on the Game Boy Advance. It just looks so neat, and all those little pirate shy guys in the background. This one looked cool too, but since there are a lot of jungle-themed levels in this, or jungle-themed tracks in this game, they all start to look the same, so it's unfortunate. Apparently your R button is your drift button in this game, but I've never really needed to use it. I know with a mushroom there is kind of a shortcut you can take here, but I don't remember which which part of the track to use it on. I think it was on this part of the track. Or maybe it was on one of the other jungle tracks. Like I said, it's been forever since I played this game. Most of the tracks are pretty straightforward, so even if I don't personally remember how they go, at least on 50cc, I can get through them pretty quickly without taking wrong turns and crashing into walls. Though I will say the speed at which the characters move at this on 50cc is kind of slow and boring. But it's the same case in all Mario games, I suppose. One of the things I do like about this game, though, is that there are 8 different Bowser's Castle tracks, and I just think it's cool because it's reminiscent of the 8 castle stages you have to go through in most Mario games to actually beat Bowser. So this is Bowser's Castle 1, and there's, I think, 8 total, if I remember correctly. Fantastic. I think I'll probably try 100cc after this, because this is a little too easy. The fact that you can even get 3 shells of either red or green while you're in first is incredible. I mean, some people don't like that and they think it's unbalanced. I think it's fine. Oh no. I do think the tracks are a little short here. And in classic Super Mario or Mario Kart fashion, the 3 winners get this neat little trophy stand that they all get to stand on. And then your performance is graded. I didn't do very well because there's star, double star, and triple star. I used to be able to get triple star every time. And apparently there's not necessarily a lot to unlock other than tracks in this game, but you can unlock a new background apparently for the title screen if you I think they said 5 tracks, or you have to win 5 Grand Prix in each of the difficulties and get 3 stars. One of the things I liked so much about the older Mario Kart games were the aggressiveness of them. Some people found them unfair and that everything needed to be balanced, but I loved it. There was strategy to it. You couldn't just rely on luck. I mean, of course, the randomness uh, of the items that you get did play a factor. But like I said, one of the nice things about it is you could get 3 shells while you're in first, and that made things a bit more interesting. You could set traps for other players, and if other players were as good as you, they could avoid the traps. What you would do is you would take shortcuts that you know, most people would take, and in the very thin areas you could set a banana, or you could set one right in front of or right behind a question block so they don't see it, so after they um, open the box they get hit with it and peel out. And then it got even more interesting when the 3DS one came out and you could see what other people had in their hands. So if you saw somebody with a blue shell and you're all the way in first, you let the guy behind you get ahead of you so they could get hit with it. Oops. Right. I'm gonna have to do a little better at staying on track. This is such a really cool looking track. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And when you're throwing shells, you can't throw them around corners because they'll always hit the corners. Time trials were also very... Oops. Were also very interesting in this game. Aw. Oh, nice. Got her. Huh. Can I not throw those behind me? Oh boy, I'm not doing very well here. I mean, all things considered, I'm doing alright, I suppose. Ah, he already made it, though. Oh well, that's just one race. And you have a different crossing the finish line theme for your placing. In first place, you'd have one theme. 2, 3, and 4, you'd have another theme, and then 5th place backwards, you'd have like the loser theme. Ah, yes, Cheese Land. A lot of the retro tracks from this game that got um, remade for some of the newer Mario Kart games, they don't actually look like... They look far different from what they look like in this game, which is kind of sad. Because I always thought it was so... This one was so cool with all little mice running around everywhere. And the little cheese mountains in the background. This was just a really cool idea for a track, I guess. At least in my opinion. Ribbon Road was another really fun track. But the fact that the tracks don't look anything like the way they did back in this game, it's just kind of sad for it doesn't It's not very nostalgic, you know. I've been surprised that nobody's been pelting me with items. And Bowser's Castle 2. There were a total of, I think 16 different circuits in this game. The first were, you know, the original, or the original made tracks for this game, and then... Oh, this is another cool thing. When you go over lava, your character, you can see the heat on your character. Oh boy, I don't remember this level. Ah. Oh yeah, and there's another thing. The coins. I've always hated the coins. Implementing the coins in... That was... Oops. You need a mushroom to get over that. I might not even make first here. Might not even make it on the board. If you end up in 4th or 5th place in this game, like you do in um, the N64 game, I think, yeah. Which I'm either going to end up in 3rd or 4th, I believe, from that awful driving. So one of the neat things about the Game Boy player, I'm playing, you know, obviously through the GameCube via the Game Boy player, but I do actually have... Oh, I made 2nd. That's not that bad. Yeah, I didn't do so well there. But one of the neat things about um, the Game Boy player is that you can actually use a Game Boy Advance as a controller. You don't have to use a GameCube controller. And I don't know if any of you have ever seen this before, but the Game Boy player logo appears on the Game Boy Advance screen, and that's really all there is to it. Why not? I'll play as her. She's got the same stats as Toad. Okay, so there are 10 each. Yeah. Luigi Circuit is one of my favorites in this game. It doesn't make any sense, you know, because Luigi doesn't own a blimp, and he doesn't own a... I don't know what that is, factory or hangars for planes. So there are good old-fashioned wet spots on the road that will, oops. That will make you slip and fall if you touch them. I gotta say, drifting is almost pointless in this game. I mean, there's probably a way to get a boost off of it. I didn't even know you could drift originally. It was just something I learned recently. And yeah, I haven't figured out how to get how to work it in this in Super Circuit. The controls for this game are, you know, a lot different from the modern day way the karts drive. Oh, that's right. Those blue ones will hit you regardless of... One of the worst things I hated about the coins, at least in this particular game, I don't know if any of the other retro games had this or not, but if you lose all your coins and you get bumped by one of the other racers, you would spin out every time you got touched. And one of the worst things about the coins are only players can pick them up, so that is a nice thing. But if you're playing with multiple people can pick up the coins, and there's only a set number of coins in each racetrack. So once they're gone, and you can't pick them back up. So it makes it makes the game a little more difficult with the more people you have playing. One of the things I really liked about this game, though, was if you only had one game cartridge and you didn't have multiple game cartridges, instead of using Shy Guys, since, you know, at the time Shy Guys weren't officially considered actual Mario characters, they were only ever seen in, well, I guess they were, 'cause they had a few appearances on the, oops. They had a few appearances on the N64, but, not very many. Ah, oh, come on. I am doing super bad here. Yeah, I haven't played this game in forever. One of the reasons why I pulled it out was, like I said, it was my second game that I ever got for, well, ever. My brother had the original Game Boy, well, not the original Game Boy, but like the Game Boy Slim or whatever it was called. It didn't have the green background. He got one of those, I don't remember where, and then he had Wario Land for it. So I played a lot of that. That was my first experience with a video game. But, oof. Are there only 6 racers? No, there's 8. Okay, I just wasn't doing super terrible. Yikes! Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. If you didn't come in at least 4th place, you had to restart. You had to redo the races. I guess I should be paying more attention to those. Man, what a jerk. I wonder if the handling's a little easier for slower characters. Oops. Out of coins, out of... Yikes. I get that this game didn't really add anything new to the series, but it was a Mario Kart game on the go, and a really well done one at that. It wasn't the best Mario Kart game in the world at the time either, but it does have its charm. But yeah, it was the first game I ever owned, or first true game I ever owned. I wouldn't consider that Winnie the Pooh game an actual game. But I actually remember we also had the Land Before Time video game for the original Game Boy. So I'm just thankful for this game because it got me into video games. It showed me, the world of video games. Boy. Yikes. Why didn't you just throw it at Bowser, you jerk? So I'm going to, yeah, take that, you jerk. I'm going to attempt to get better at this game again. Mainly because I want to see what um, that other background looks like for, completing everything. If I do, I might play this game again on stream so you guys can see how much my skills have improved. Ugh. Ah, come on. I should be able to do at least a little better than this. There we go. Sunset Wilds. This is the fourth race, right? So then there wasn't a... I guess there wasn't a Bowser's Castle here. I'll admit, I actually don't remember this track. Yeah, this is one of the few that I don't actually remember racing through. I mean, the background looks nice and all. There's even a little pipe at the top there, or at the top of that hill in the background. I don't know, this one just kind of looks... Oh, that's right, this is the, So it just works like regular drifting, but The controls for playing a character are so... Ah, probably didn't make first, but maybe second. Honestly, for somebody who hasn't played in a while and doesn't really know the tracks, I'm doing pretty well on 100cc. Hey, I still managed to make first. Nice. Oh yeah, there are Shy Guys in this one. And we just went through a Shy Guy race. I am... Yeah, yeah. Rank E. I like how there's all these these small illustrations for each track. They all look so cool. You can tell that they put a lot of time and effort into this game. I mean, like I said before, there's nothing really new about this game from mechanic-wise. There's nothing um, that separates it from, say, Mario Kart N64, except that it was a handheld Mario Kart game. And honestly, that was okay. That's right. It doesn't last as long. There's even a lot of really... Oof. So, one of the interesting things about time trials is that usually a ghost will be saved of your a ghost will be saved of your... I cannot get control over these cars to save my life. The fact that you can't jump over those is another... Sliding all over the place because of the ice is very tedious, especially since I barely know how to play. I like how that dead snowman just stays there, though. But this track was big enough that it wasn't really that big of an issue. Hey, hey Marcos, welcome to the stream. I don't know when you sent that, but yeah, welcome. So just a show of hands, what's everyone's favorite Mario Kart game? And since this is a special Thanksgiving stream, what are y'all thankful for? Oh yeah, this track isn't even like if you compare it to the Ribbon Road from Mario Kart 8, it is definitely if you look at the track map, it's definitely a different track than the one you play on over there. So to call the Ribbon Road from that game a callback to this one is kind of misleading. Don't get me wrong, I like the Mario Kart 8 Ribbon Road track. It looks really beautiful. It looks really cool. Okay, that didn't happen. Nobody saw that. You can't prove it. It just goes to show you how unpolished uh, the Mario Kart style was, and the limitations that. Uh, wow. Okay. Gotta love this game. You just gotta love it. So many memories. I remember when I used to be this bad at this game. I mean, even without drifting, I was able to, beat 150cc all the tracks as a kid. Maybe not necessarily get, maybe not necessarily get 3 stars, but I could beat it. Um, we actually had 2 copies of this game in our house. One was my brother's and one was mine. Um, this is my brother's copy, I know, because he ended up nuking his. He wanted to start over. Oops. I don't know why I thought that was a star. I like how Luigi has a higher pitched voice in this game because he didn't have a definitive voice back then. Or I guess, yeah, he even had a deeper voice in Mario Tennis. Jerk. Also, when I was a kid, the concept of placing never really... I was never ever really able to grasp the concept of it. Like, why does it say why is there a big 4 down there at the left side of the screen when there's only 3 people in front of me? That was always my, So it took a while for me to, sort of understand that. But, here's this game that I was playing at a really young age. One that was, probably not the most difficult game out there, but still pretty challenging. And it's small, simple games like this that, most people wouldn't even try to 100% nowadays. But, these were the games back in the day. These were the games. Mario Kart Wii. Mario Kart Wii was a pretty good one. I don't know what your obsession is with Angry Birds lately, man, but... I never saw them in more than anything just a simple flash game. Well, mobile games, but mobile games were, they're just that. They're flash games on mobile devices. I respect them, but I also don't really consider them real games. Fight me. This is another map I actually really liked, or another track I really liked, just because of the Sphinx Yoshi in the background. I always... What a jerk. I forgot about those things. Okay, I guess I better avoid that. Try to stay on the track. That was another really great thing about older games. They taught you how to play as you got further into the game. The game started out simple and gave you the simple, um, here's how things work, here's how things happen, see what you can do, and they gradually got harder as you got further in the game. Will you go off? You stupid piranha plants. And the reason why that was, so you couldn't just like race your way through the games. You had to actually learn as you got further, so that by the time you actually did beat the game, you were a master at it, and you could do all these really neat tricks. I remember um, the final rush in Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Adventure 2. Um, Back in the day, uh, I had a time limit for how much video games I could play a day, and it was half an hour. And um, so I always had to complete the level in half an hour, or yeah, I could never complete the level in half an hour, so I was just never able to beat it because I couldn't leave the console running all night until I got to play again the next day. So I just had to learn how to get better at it to where I could beat it, and it just right there are no jump ramps there. So I had to beat it within a half an hour to be able to finish the game. And it was small hurdles like that I had to face at such a young age that makes me the better gamer I am today. And I'm thankful for that. I mean, I wasn't thankful that I only got to play a half hour a day because, all that propaganda about video games being evil or video games being a waste of people's time. It's a nice little fun recreational thing to do. Granted, the term gamer kind of comes with the territory in the event that you play games more than you probably should. But I mean, being a gamer is nothing different from somebody having a hobby of, let's say, playing tennis and playing tennis all the time. Okay, not bad. The selection of playable characters in this game actually doesn't disappoint for the time. There was always a rumor going around when I was a kid that you could unlock Waluigi. And I always believed this because I didn't have a console. I didn't have any home consoles growing up, so I never really knew the character. But people said he was like a purple or bluish, you know, character to complete the four. You know, at the time we all thought, you know, Mario, Luigi, Wario, and Waluigi were all brothers. So to complete the whole brothers thing, you needed all four of them. And because of games like Super Mario Advance that came with the remake of Mario Bros, and it was a four-player game, and there was, you know, a yellow Mario and a blue Mario. The idea of all four of them being brothers, you know, made sense. You know, they were rumors that, you know, people made up back then. And the way to unlock Waluigi was to beat all of the races on all of the tracks and get gold on all of them, and you'd unlock the character. You didn't have to get 3 stars; just had to get gold. And I was a kid that kind of just, when I had my heart set on something, I believed something. You know, nobody could tell me otherwise. This was how things were. This is... So, you know, when I finally got gold on all the tracks, I was like, oh, where's this character at? Instead of saying, oh, yeah, I was fooled. It was, I was thinking along the lines of, wow, I've got a broken game. That's not fair. So my older brother, Michael, um, you know, he's 5 years older than me. So 4 is a passing grade. If you get the first 4, I think you continue. If you get the last 4, you have to try again. So, you know, he was essentially the smart one out of all of us because he was, you know, older by 5 years, but he wasn't very observant. So he's introducing all these characters to me, and he introduces Toad, which at the time was both of our favorite characters. One, because he drove a blue cart, and he was essentially the blue character of the game. And, you know, blue was both of our favorite colors back then. And the other reason um, was just that he looked like a really cool character. I mean, nowadays, Toads are a dime a dozen. They all look the same. You know, there's no originality within them. Oops. But back in the day, he was the man. So Michael's introducing all these characters to me. When he gets to Toad, he's like, "Yeah, this one's called Mushroom Head." It's just based on what he sees. And you know, for a while, we just called the character Mushroom Head. We also called you know, Luigi Luke or whatever, but basically not by his real name. Because Michael's like, I know these, trust me." And then I started, you know, fiddling around the game with myself, and you realize that the names are right above the characters, and I was like, dude, these aren't the names of the actual characters, right? Um, he's like, of course they are. Like, their names are right above them. How do you not see this? Of course, I didn't know how to pronounce Luigi's name at the time, because I never heard anybody say it out loud, and I didn't know how to spell Luigi. I mean, look at that word. So I just kept calling him Luke, or, whatever my brother had christened him back then. Um, but I started calling Toad Toad, and I thought it was weird that they named a mushroom Toad instead of, something else, because I didn't know what a toadstool was. Or, well, I knew what a toadstool was, I just didn't know that that was a name for him. Should we call Toad Guy Fun Guy? Uh, sure, why not? Bowser's Castle Boar. Maybe there are only 4 Bowser's Castles. I remember there being a lot more for whatever reason. What's supposed to be that thing in the background? I think another reason why I'm not doing well is because I'm looking at the backgrounds of all of these. Oh no, I'm out of coins. Now every time someone touches me, I'm gonna peel out. So I guess I forgot to mention, or I forgot to say it, but my favorite Mario Kart game is Mario Kart Double Dash. Just because um, it's a really fun Mario Kart game. 2 people to a kart. The rhythm of it was really good. I keep thinking there are jump ramps behind those, but there's not. I just have to avoid them. So I don't think I have the height to be able to jump over them. I hit somebody with them. Okay, this one is a bit longer than those other tracks. A lot of them were short, but this one's actually pretty long, which I'm okay with. Just thought the others were a little too short, in my opinion. Finally, I'm in first. I don't know why I ever changed characters. I played 2 races with this character, became attuned to him. And I hopped other characters like that was a good idea. I can't shoot these behind me. I don't know if that's because of the game or if I just got a broken button or something. I don't think that'd be the case because I've been able to shoot. Red shells behind me, so you probably just can't shoot green ones backwards in this game. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to though. I never played Paper Mario back in the day, so I didn't know what that that was in the background. I always wanted to go up there and see what was up there. Oops, that's right. These aren't guardrails. So, like Mario Kart on N64, Mario Kart Super Circuit has a particular spot on the track that a mushroom can basically jump you all the way to the other half of the track. If you look on the map where that little corner piece of the track is, about on the top middle of the track, It's right on this corner to the right of me that you use the mushroom on, and you can hop over to the other side. I think you actually have to be playing in. Oof, I'm not doing well here. I think you actually have to be playing in 100cc to actually make the speed to get onto the track. But you appear so close to it. You appear so close to it in the other games that I think they just throw you back on the track close to. Yeah, Hakes. Well, if it's not already obvious, I'm definitely not gonna be. Yikes! I'm not gonna be making it to the finish line. Oh, that's right. You can't shoot 3 shells behind you. Oof. 8th place. Not, not good. One of these times I should at least be able to make it. That's interesting. At least in the Mario, um, at least in the Mario games, my favorite character used to be Yoshi. But that was back in the day when he had his older design. I thought it was much cooler than his newer, more modern day design. I liked how he had a longer neck and he looked more like a typical dragon. And then that saddle he's got on his back, I think nowadays is I think it's officially supposed to be a shell, so it's like actually a part of his character. Which I don't like. I always like the idea of it being a saddle. Though I guess it didn't make it didn't make sense for every Yoshi to have one. But the older Yoshi toys, when they made plush Yoshis to promote Super Mario World, they were all oops, they were all they all had saddles on them. At the time, I only knew that the green one existed, and you know, toys of video game characters back in the day were very far and few. You got them from McDonald's, Happy Meals, or Burger King, or Wendy's. You didn't go to Target and find a toy of a Mario character or a Sonic character on the shelves. So the fact that one of my nephews had a toy of this character of Yoshi, just a green Yoshi, was so exciting for me to come to that revelation. You know, at the time I didn't know that they also came in yellow, blue, and red. If I had known back then, I would have tried to seek out and collect all of them. Just because, you know, that's just the kind of guy that I am. Um, you know, if they made toys of Four Swords, and I think they actually have, uh, if I were to want them, I'd have to get all 4. Yeah, this game's a little different from newer Mario games. When you see stars falling on the track, if you touch them, they hurt you. Same thing with the clouds. You can run under them, but if one managed to zap you with lightning, it will shrink you like the lightning bolt does. Anyway, so I ended up, well, long story short, I ended up really wanting the toy, and my aunt, or uh, my sister gave it to me. No, I was adopted into the family, so before me and my biological siblings, were adopted into the family. Mom and dad already had their own kids, and they were already grew up and had kids of their own, so we were around the same age. So my sister gave me the toy, and she says, "You can have it until you get bored of it." And being the Nintendo fan and the collector I am, well, long story short, I still have it. There's got to be a way to do that. Ah, come on, come on! No! If I hadn't have done that. Okay, I get one more try, I think. Yeah, toys are a great thing to have. They double your power. Um, but one of the great things about it was, like I said back then, Nintendo didn't make toys of their characters. No video game toys of video game characters were out of the question. The companies didn't have the money to make those back then. They had to work on making sure that games were the best that they could be, so that games were so that people would buy their games. I mean, nowadays, most people will have uh, more than one console in their house, but back in the day, you had to be frugal. So, yeah, toys back then, when you found them, it was a really exciting occasion. So, I ended up keeping it, and I still got it. If I could ever find the other three, um, Yoshi plushies to complete the Super Mario World plushies, not only would they be a really fun thing to just have to add to my collection, but they might even be worth quite a bit of money now. I mean, I know it's a long shot, but no, that was the worst place to do that. Oh well. Gotcha. I mean, you're also talking, to a guy that has a an American Rob and a Japanese Rob. So, starting a classic channel where we just play with old Mario plushies. Yeah, I used to watch him back in the day too. The cute Mario Bros. Were the biggest ones. Oh yeah, and then you get you beat the final track. You get the ending credits. Um, I even remember seeing. That's actually how I learned that there were um, multiple colored Yoshis. I actually saw a kid do a video on YouTube where he's just playing with them, but he had the yellow, he had the blue. I can't remember if he had the red or not. I think he did, but he didn't have the green one, and the green one was the only one I had. I was so envious. I really wanted all three of those. And then I also had a friend who, oh, he was actually my brother's friend. He had a Bowser plushie, and then he had a Mario. He had a Mario with wings on the cap. He had Super Mario 64 toys, and like I said, as these were rare to sort of find, I wanted to know. I wanted them, but they were just out of my reach. I mean, I could probably look around eBay or something and find them nowadays. But I wouldn't exactly know what I'm looking for, and most people probably don't even have them. So finding listings for them on any site, Craigslist, eBay, Amazon, would probably be pretty difficult. Although, for something like that, I'd probably have better luck on Craigslist, I'd say. But, yeah, I have a whole box full of, just full of old Mario toys I used to collect. I mean, a lot of them, if not all of them, are all broken, played with to death. You know, along with a bunch of Sonic plushies too. Because those were the two game series I was really big into back in the day. It was Mario and Sonic. Um, I love both the series. Never even knew that they were rivals back in the 80s. I I didn't even know that Nintendo games were exclusive to Nintendo consoles. I mean, even using a bunch of common sense, using a little bit of common sense, you could figure that out. But yeah, I was not aware of that. I always thought, one day I'll get a PS3 and I'll get an Xbox 360 and I'll collect all the Mario and Sonic games on all the systems. That was just kind of my mindset back in the day. Being a kid in well, the model used for Donkey Kong was provided by Rare. Rare was basically responsible for the 3D models of the DK characters back in the day before they were acquired by Square Enix, or they were acquired by Microsoft. And Microsoft did the worst thing they possibly could. They bought Rare, said, hey, these are really good developers. They destroyed their team, and they separated the team out into their other games. That's why we never got another Banjo-Kazooie game. We never got another Conker's Bad Fur Day sequel. Never came out. All these horrible things happened to Rare. But at least we got Banjo-Kazooie for Smash. I guess that's something, but I wouldn't necessarily call it. I wouldn't call it a success. I think it's because these tracks are so short that the superstars don't last as long as they used to, or as long as they usually do nowadays. So there were actually three... Oh, I didn't know I could do that. That's awesome. I can use the mushroom to get away from... Um, there were 3 Mario Kart games I don't have. I still don't have. The first one was, well, the first 2, Mario Kart 64 and Super Mario Kart, because well, I guess I do have Super Mario Kart now because I have it for the NES Mini, or SNES Mini, but I don't have the actual physical copy of it. And then Mario Kart 64 because I didn't have an N64 or Super Nintendo growing up. My aunt had a Super Nintendo, so one of my aunts did, and she was also my favorite aunt to visit, so I could go play the Super Nintendo. It wasn't. That was basically the only reason why she was my favorite aunt. Um, but the console didn't belong to her. It actually belonged to I think they were my cousins. I don't really know. But they had a system that they kept at their house, and then they had one they kept at my aunt's house, so that when they went over to my aunt's house, they had something to play. And they had all the greatest games. It was Zombies Ate My Neighbors, A Link to the Past, Super Mario RPG. I fell in love with that game. So it was, and they even had this baseball game, which, surprisingly enough, I'll actually show it to you after this race. I do have a physical copy of. It was this baseball game that, normally I don't care about sports games. Mario games are kind of, I wouldn't necessarily call at least the older Mario games sports games, since there's a little more to them than sports. Like Mario Kart, you're not just driving around a track trying to get your best times. You can pelt other people with items. There's a real strategy that goes into Mario Kart. Let me see if I can reach it. But this baseball game was one of the few. It was one of the few games that I really enjoyed playing back at my aunt's house. So when I had a friend who was just trying to get rid of that game and a copy of Super Mario World for the NES or SNES. So I took them. Um, I took them off his hands because I really love the backgrounds to these ghost levels. Like there's a ghost house in the background of this one, and the other one there were this creepy mountains. But even though I don't have an SNES yet, I do need to get one. I need to get an SNES. I need to get a new Wii since my other one broke. And I will officially have every single Nintendo console. Well, a version of every Nintendo console. Like, I don't have a Game Boy Advance Pocket, and I don't have the original Game Boy, but, like, I'll have a version of every console. I'm playing on 100cc, right? Am I just doing better now? Well, I guess the older tracks had less obstacles. I'm doing really well, whatever the case. But I'm pretty sure that, yeah, all of these, all 6 of these tracks on the flip side of the Grand Prix are classic tracks. Except for maybe these Bowser Castle ones. They might all be original. I don't know. Like I said, I've never really looked into it. I have played through every single track in Super Mario Kart, but I've never I don't remember them. I did it, I want to say twice. Once at my aunt's house and then once after I got the Mini. But it's just, for me personally, it's just a really forgettable game. To others, I'm sure it's very nostalgic, but, you know, I grew up with Double Dash, so it's the one I remember most fondly. And I also grew up with this one, so that's why I have fond memories of it. Even though I say it's just, you know, it's just Mario Kart on the Game Boy. There's nothing real innovative about it, but it's a handheld version of the game. Oh yeah, and then there's that. If you send a ghost to attack somebody, they steal an item from the player in front of you, or if the player in front of you doesn't have an item, it'll give you a random item from, I think it's either from another player or it's from, or it's from, or it's just a random item, I don't know. But then, also, whoever it targets, it steals coins from and it slows you down. I think I might be playing on 50cc maybe. If I'm doing this... No, I am playing on 100cc. Huh. These are just really easy tracks. These retro tracks are much easier. Because I think I came in first on all of those. I've said this before, I can't really concentrate very well on games when I talk and play at the same time. But it's something you kind of have to learn to do while streaming. And even an A rank too. I bet with a bit more practice I could get 3 stars on that as well. I don't really know what... Alright, select, you can change the settings. Let's keep going, and if I still think they're too easy, I'll swap to 150. As far as I can go, though, I apparently haven't unlocked this one yet. But I have unlocked it in easy, so we're just gonna have to play that one in easy. Well, I've got a lot of things I want to get to add to my collection, Marcos. One of the things is I want to get a Genesis, and then the that attachment that went on top that enhances the graphics or gameplay or whatever. And I want to get Knuckles Chaotix. That game was never re-released, and you can only find it for that console. So that's one of the few Sonic games that I've actually never played. I've actually played and beaten every single Sonic game except for Sonic Battle and Knuckles Chaotix. And that's because their exclusives for. It's actually surprised me that I never got Sonic Battle because I had a Game Boy Advance and I had all the games for the Game Boy Advance. Well, more specifically, all of the games um, that were uh, original. I never really was a fan of buying game adaptations of movies because they were all bad. My brother, my younger brother, he has a handful of them, and they were all just terrible. They don't reflect the movie at all. They just sold because a kid really liked this movie, and the mom sees, hey, this is cheap game for the Game Boy. I'll buy it for my kid's birthday, and the kid gets it, and the kid has fond memories of it, but or the kid enjoys it, but somebody who's actually at the time I started to fall in love with video games, and don't get me wrong, um, if a video game was given to me, whether it was one I wanted or not, I would play it, and I would beat it, and I would love it. Um, but most movie adaptations of games were ones my brother got. There was one that was actually really good, and that was the Spy Kids 3 video game adaptation. That one was actually fun. It was really, really well developed. And I guess the Spider-Man 2 one and Ultimate Spider-Man was pretty good too, but Ultimate Spider-Man wasn't based off of a movie. I'm sorry, but this is driving me nuts. I am on 100cc and I am doing way better than any of the other racers. Man, I overlapped Donkey Kong. Take that, Donkey Kong! And then some of these tracks are so small that's just something you can do. But it really did surprise me that I never got Sonic Battle because I had almost every game I wanted for the Game Boy Advance. Me and my brother would actually buy different games uh, so that our library would grow. I mean, he was still a huge jerk and wouldn't, let me play any of his games. So what I would do is I'd just get a game. Well, not a jerk. He's just selfish. So I'd get a game that he didn't have, and if he wanted to play this game, he'd have to let me play his game, and he'd try to do things like, okay, I'll let you play up to the first boss if you let me play and beat your game. And I was like, no, that's a terrible idea. So obviously, he eventually just had to settle and for a trade, and if he didn't, or if he didn't, sometimes they'd end up in fist fights, but very rarely, because in such cases where, Michael was just a notorious jerk back in the day, so, if he tried to, take things too far, Mom and Dad would, allow us to, so, for instance, I got Donkey Kong Country on the Game Boy Advance when he got Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. So I told, so if we had gotten into a fist fight over that because he wanted to play my game without letting me play his game, we'd get into an argument. If it turned into a fist fight, what would end up happening would be that Mom would just make him give me his game so that I would officially own both games because he's been such a jerk about it. And that was just kind of the household we lived in. if you were a jerk, um, or if you did something really bad, you know, the worst punishment was not that you got a spanking. That was just kind of a, you know, that was child's play. But you actually had to give up something of yours, something that you really enjoyed having, to another party, or to one of the other siblings. I mean, it was a method that, I guess you could say, worked. It kept us in line. Um, but we weren't too happy about it when it happened. But because stuff like that did happen, it didn't happen very often. Although, me and Michael, for a while, were the only two in the house that had Game Boy Advances. My sister never did get one, and my younger brother got an SP eventually. Um, he got one for his birthday since he didn't have a game console and he needed one of his own. Because, you know, every so often we would find him stealing. You know, I was pretty selfish myself back then. You know, something like a trade for a trade where a game for a game was something that man, where are all these ghosts coming from? Was something that I respected and I could do because I would get something out of it. But just to let somebody use something of mine without getting something in return was unheard of. So every so often, you know, you catch our younger brother stealing one of our Game Boy Advances and playing it, and when we caught him, you know, he'd hide it behind his back and act like nothing was wrong, and 2 seconds later he'd be on the ground crying with a fist mark on his face. I'm not saying that was an appropriate way to handle the situation, you know, back in the day, but that was just kind of the household, and of course we get in trouble for it. You know, we get spanked for doing stuff like that. Um, did I accidentally do? I did flip that around, right? I think so. Since I don't remember doing that over again. Okay, let's go. That's cool. It's got a little Bowser statue in the background. Yeah, I think there's a total of 8 Bowser strikes in this game. Bowser's just probably like, yeah, build a racetrack in every single one of my castles just in case at some point in time between me capturing Peach and Mario rescuing her, if we all just want to go go-karting, we could. There are also a bunch of little neat uh, add-ins to this game that don't need to be here, but because they're here, they're you know, they make the game just a little neater. They're like small touch-up details that the game developers didn't need to put in, but they did, and the game is just a little better because of them. Um, I don't know whether I'd call this game a gym or not, in all honesty. It is fun. Um, Once you get the hang of it, it's not, um, you know, it's not, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, it's not bad. It's fun to play. It's super simple to get the hang of. Well, like one of the... No! Oh, man, there's like a bunch of different things that can save you from that. Why is that there? See, little stuff like that. Because of course, you think it's a shortcut there for a minute and you try to take it, but once you learn that it's not and you memorize the track, you're never going to do something like that again. So it's not really... it's not really something, to get mad about. But these were the kind of little details that they put in their older games that I just love. One of the other things is, well, I'll show you here in a second after the race starts. That, the pause button obviously gives you the pause screen, but um, the select button, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's the horn for the car, and every single character, I almost did it again. Well, I guess I did do it again because it wasted time. Each character has a different horn. They all sound different. And the fact that falling into a lava pit, when you get pulled back out by Lakitu, he, you're all black and charred because you're cooking inside the lava. And then, running over a metal bridge with lava on it makes your car change colors because of the heat coming off of it, and how the lighting under a metal bridge like that would be different. It's the small details like that that really make games like these shine. I'm actually getting pretty good at drifting here, too. One of the things I hate about time trials is that while racing, if you hit a wall, or you fall off a cliff, or fall into lava, or whatever, or like hit an obstacle like a snowman or a mouse, it won't let you save the ghost record. So I guess there are some standards for you have to be good enough to use all the tricks in the game without running into walls in order for a ghost to be created. Which is kind of understandable, but when you look at it in a certain way, for people who aren't so attuned to this game yet, or kids, how are they going to be able to beat their previous records if something like that were to occur? Or how would they be able to beat their records if they don't really know what their records are, or if they're not saved? Man, I miss the good old days of gaming. Nowadays, gaming has become somewhat of a joke. The industry is just out to make money and aren't really doing anything else. Or isn't really doing anything else. The new Mario Golf game is more along the lines of it's just golf. That's all it is. I mean, yeah, there's speed golf and there's a few neat things, but most of the courses aren't even interesting. You know, every single one of their sports games used to be as interesting and fun as Mario Kart, but they aren't anymore, and that's why they're not selling. I I don't know if um, companies are stupid or if they're just lazy, but it should be obvious that if you make courses that look like they're actually in made inside the Mushroom Kingdom, um, they're going to be a lot more fun to play and traverse. People don't play Mario Kart for the sensation of racing. They're playing Mario Kart for the sensation of playing Mario Kart. And it's the same thing with all the sports games. When you're playing Mario Tennis, you don't want to be playing, you're not trying to play tennis, you're trying to have fun and play a party game. You're not actually wanting to play tennis. You're wanting to play upgraded tennis. So all their sports games are pretty much, they're all just terrible now. They tried to change up the formula in Mario Kart with Mario Kart 8, and that was a huge disappointment to everyone. Oh, and that's another cool thing you can do. In water, you can actually drive yourself out of it if you're fast enough. I mean, naturally, you'd want to stay out of it as much as possible anyway, because it slows you down. Man, they use this background a lot, don't they? I don't know if I would have preferred this game, or playing this game with a GameCube controller or Game Boy Advance. It's actually been, other than, I mean, I guess I've recently played Four Swords with it, but I don't often play the Game Boy Advance anymore. I'm usually using the SP. And now that now that I think about it, the Game Boy Advance is kind of a small console. I think it was tuned for a younger audience's fingers, kind of like the Switches, which makes sense. But, growing up, I never really noticed it. But looking back on it now, yeah, my hands are way too big for this console. Yikes, this is kind of a difficult track. So if this console is technically already small, why in the world did they make the Game Boy Advance Pocket? Yeah, the industry has become a discount Hollywood pretty much. They're all after money. They just try to throw things out, very quickly. A lot of people don't like me saying this, but Breath of the Wild, what isn't one of my top 10 favorite Zelda games. It was a good game, but um, one of the problems with it was, well, first of all, the lack of a story. Um, but that might just be more of a personal thing. But then also, there were way too many things that were added that didn't feel like they didn't feel like they belonged in a Zelda game. Like all of those mechs running around. I mean, I know they put similar robots in Skyward Sword, but you know, even that game I felt didn't feel like a Zelda game. And then they added the motorcycle, which I'm pretty sure isn't canon, but just the fact that it's there, it just throws everything off. I don't know. It wasn't. That was one of my big reasons for disliking it. Another reason was because all of the temples looked exactly alike. All those little shrines, you know, you went to find, they all looked exactly alike. They were, I mean, I get they were all made by the Sheikas, but that's not a good excuse. They basically copy and pasted them. And some even had the same, you know, some had different puzzles for you to solve, but some you just fought a guardian or whatever. And it just, there was no, the only reason why I sought them all out and collected every single one was so that I could, get the original Link's tunic. And the fact that you could dye it any color you want was also a really cool addition there. But you know, I had my problems with the game, and it just felt like they had too many ideas for this game, and what they ended up with was sticking too many of the ideas into a game and ultimately ruining it. I know because I used to do the same thing with drawings. I would make a drawing, and it was really good, and I kept adding to it and adding to it and adding random stuff to it to the point where I ruined it. So, you know, I can definitely. The same thing can happen to any piece of art. When you add too much to something, it can ruin it. Now, I'm not holding it against Nintendo or anything. You know, obviously this was their first open world Zelda game, and maybe even their first open world game ever. I wouldn't necessarily call Super Mario Odyssey an open world game. You know, I wouldn't necessarily call, well, I don't know. I guess you could argue that um, the first Zelda game was an open world game. I mean, I get that was the concept that they were going for, so maybe that's okay. But you know, this was Nintendo's first, you know, the way they had always envisioned Zelda. They were just waiting for their console's power to be big enough to create something like it. So for their first open world game, it's not bad, but it definitely it needed work. I also didn't like the temples. They were like the temples that all the guardians fought and died at. They were a little too confusing. Um, but I guess that was mainly because Nintendo changed the controls of the game so that it would work for both the Wii U and the Switch, which was dumb. They should have just kept it the same. Or they should have made the controls different for both versions of the game. But you know, whatever. I have no say in Nintendo. But anyway, for first open world concept, it was decent, but it needed much more work. One of the only open world games that I actually enjoyed playing was Xenoblade, because Xenoblade actually had a well-developed story, and you would, you know, it was one of the longer RPGs because it was an open world RPG, but it was worth it. Well, actually, I guess you really couldn't call that an open world game, but But if it had been an open world game, you know, it would definitely have been a decent one. I'm just saying. That, there needs to be some improvements. And I guarantee the more open world Zelda games that Nintendo makes, the better they're gonna get. Another thing I hated about the game was the cell shading. I don't like the look of... I don't like that style. Um, it looks all... It just doesn't look good. It looks like the graphics in Zelda have taken a step backwards and need to be fixed. I mean, my favorite Zelda game, well, it's actually kind of a toss-up between Four Swords and Twilight Princess. I mean, I definitely liked Twilight Princess for its dark story and basically one of the best stories out of any of the Zelda games. And I just liked, and my reasons for liking, well, it was also beautiful. That was another reason why I really liked it. And then my reasons for liking Four Swords is that it was a 4-player Zelda game, and you know, its entire premise was around color and the 4 colors of the game, and that was something I really admired about it. And you know, I'm still looking for, you know, 3 other people who want to play the game with me from start to finish, and it would be nice to find people who would not only want to play it but also have as much fun playing the game with me. Kind of like, you know, the older days of YouTube when you'd watch 4 people play a game and they'd just have a really good time. Even if you couldn't see their faces, the conversations they had and everything together were really fun to watch and be a part of. And that's what I want to turn my streams into. I want to turn my streams into streams where me and a bunch of other friends who share my love for gaming just play games and have a good time. We play a lot of, you know, 4-player multiplayer games, co-op games, what have you. Just games that were really fun, games that took us on an adventure, and one that we can finally experience together while, you know, not just as friends, but as a stream, as a community, our audience, you know, one that our audience will also enjoy and can be a part of. That's just always been my goal with streaming. And I'm working on it, but it's good. You know, I still got to get my PC built first. My laptop can hardly run Twitch streams, and it can't run YouTube streams, unfortunately. And also, I think this is my 3rd official stream, but I'm actually doing it today instead of Thursday night. First of all, because I have tonight off, and second of all, because I've made Thanksgiving plans, or I'm attempting to make Thanksgiving plans, so I'm going to be out doing stuff tomorrow night. And if for some reason all of that doesn't go as planned, if, you know, everybody's busy, I'll do another stream tomorrow night, and we'll have a good time. I honestly thought that was a jump ramp. Yeah, I agree. Marcos, um, refining games in both story, gameplay, art, and everything um, is essentially what everybody seeks to do. A really good example of this would be the Call of Duty Zombie series. If you go back and you play those earlier games, um, at, at base value, you can tell that a lot has changed. And I'm more so talking about the older style, not the newer ones, not Vanguard, not Cold War. But if you compare the first few, um, I got it. No, never mind. There we go. But if you compare the World at War to the map the map 5 on Black Ops, and then take a look at Black Ops 3 and all it has accomplished, you can tell how refined the game has become. And then when they thought they couldn't take it any further, I guess they changed the design of zombies, which some people liked and others didn't, but nothing we can really do about it. Ah, my goodness. I think Toad is just a little too fast for this racetrack. Ah, my goodness. These stupid bridges. Well, I'm definitely not gonna, obviously, win. But I think I've still got 2 more tries. So, I'll try again. Dead last. Yeah, I've still got 2 tries left. And I think this is 3rd race? Those little blast-offs are a bit late, aren't they? Thank you, Mario. Oh, I remember this track now. Right. Damn it! If you pick me up, it's just gonna make it even harder for me to win. Honestly, if I could just get out of here in 4th place, I'll be happy. Ah, damn it. Oh well, I've still got another lap to catch up. I should be able to do that. So all I have to do is make... Ah. Alright, one more shot. Let's not mess this up. Ah, man. I try so hard not to swear. But it... just inconsistency after inconsistency really doesn't... I love the... I love the sounds everyone makes when they get hit. It's... just sounds so satisfying to nail one of them with one of these shells after... and that you can just fire one after another without having to wait for them to recover to hit them again with another one. Alright. Yes. No! No, 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 no! Alright, that's not bad. Oh yeah, steering in this game is terrible. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It's not very good on the thumb either, especially with the D-pad. You wouldn't be able to play this game with the analog stick, I wouldn't imagine, at least not the GameCubes. Unfortunately, all of my GameCube controllers are broken. I need to get more. Ah. Alright, we've got one more left, and unfortunately I haven't unlocked it, or it hasn't been unlocked in this version of the game. I couldn't find my copy of the game, so I used my brother's. Yikes. Okay, I gotta be careful where I throw these. I also hate how they aim for the person behind you even after you're in front of them. I guess they just go after... Ah. There's gotta be... I think I remember this stage. Yeah, you drive over here, around here. There we go. Haha, man. Oh well, if I can make... Wait, I'm playing on 50cc. Man, that is sad. If I don't end up coming in first at the end of this, I might have to hang up my Mario Kart wheel. But to be fair, there was a time when I was good at this, I swear. See this background, I love it so much. They should make an entire game in this world right here. That'd be awesome. Or at least in Mario Odyssey 2, be allowed to explore like a creepy hidden world. I mean, the Ruined Kingdom was cool, but it wasn't exactly the spooky vibe I was looking for. And also, it would have been nice to explore more of that kingdom. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, for a realistic-looking dragon in Mario, it was kind of. I mean, I guess you could argue that the dinosaur shouldn't have been there either. So, who knows? But you know, they didn't really feel. Like you see, that one was a little more understandable. But the fact that I shot a red shell earlier, and then I somehow got in front of it, and it fired, you know, it targeted me, that's just not fair. What are you laughing about? Okay. Ah, man. I need to go over some of these levels in time trials. Or I am never going to get... I'm never going to get through these. Well, it's pretty clear I'm probably going to have to do this one over again. See, these tracks are so short, they had to make them 5 laps long. Ah, I could have actually made it there. And the fact that this is 50cc is also... It's also kind of sad. Since the entire track is flat, it's kind of hard to judge exactly where I need to jump to get over these small... Yeah, anyone else want to touch me? I have mastered the art of letting off of the gas to make sharp turns. I wouldn't imagine it's... It's the... There we go. That wasn't as hard as I was making it out to be. Yeah, but all the ghost levels are really cool. So most of these courses you drive around the track clockwise. So, what's going on here? Oh, I see. We're just driving around a pond. Yes. Get stuck, hooligans. I don't know if this is an actual retro track or not, but I will say it is a bit difficult. This entire Grand Prix has been very, very difficult. And I'm playing on easy. I'm so ashamed of myself. I don't know if I ever, was able to beat some of these retro tracks when I was younger. Because I remember there was a time when I could at least get gold on them, but yeah, getting 3 stars on the harder levels was out of the question. I ended up getting 3 stars on all 50cc tracks, though, I think. At most in 100, and I think that's where I stopped. Alright, last track, Rainbow Road. Now, I gotta be honest, I love this track, okay, don't get me wrong. But this retro track is the only Rainbow Road, is the only retro Rainbow Road that ever shows up. And I'm so mad at that. This is a fun track, but there were so many other, in my opinion, much better Rainbow Road tracks than this. So why don't they get any love? What about Double Dash's Rainbow Road track? What about the Wii's Rainbow Road track? See, this game, it makes sense, because I don't think there was a Rainbow Road track on the first and Super Mario Circuit. I could be wrong, but this is the one that came from the 64. So, bringing it back as another retro track was ideal. It was cool. It made sense. But, bringing it back as a retro Rainbow Road track for all the games is just... it's sad. I'd like to see more diversity in Rainbow Roads. Especially, it would have been especially great to have those in Mario Kart 8, because its Rainbow Road was terrible. There was no challenge to it whatsoever. I may have to play as a slower character if I'm to get through here without... I think I've probably hit Peach with more red shells than anyone else in this game. But just the sound and the feeling and the animations of throwing those red shells at people in front of you that are just aggravating you beyond belief, and the fact that you can throw all 3 of them at once and make them spin out for a really long time made this game feel so much... it was so satisfying. Alright, and that's all the tracks in this game. It was just a really fun game that happened. Also, interestingly enough, there's a little pink toad in the bottom left corner of the screen. And I think this is the only time in the Mario universe where you ever see a pink toad. And the characters that do the spinning around thing at the end of the credits, if I remember correctly, it changes depending on who you're playing as. It'll pick 4 random characters, but it'll never pick the one you're playing as because your character is the one that drives through the little credits and blows them up. It was a really fun game to have on the go, Marcos. I honestly wish I could show you guys the what am I looking? I wish I could show you guys the battle mode, but I need to have I need to be in multiplayer to do that, and I don't have somebody to play with me. Although I could probably still set it up and show you. Just give me a second. That you can, it actually has a connector so that you can still play multiplayer games on the big screen. But of course, for everyone to have a big screen, you would actually need, you'd actually need somebody to you would actually need somebody to have multiple. You'd have to have multiple game cubes. All right, this one's dead. Um, yeah, I think that's how you set it up. So you put the little cable in, you go to multiplayer, and normal pack link, lets you play basically all the tracks, all the characters, um, and all the battle modes. But since I can't find my other one, we'll just do single pack. And it shows you these little you play as different colored Yoshis instead of Shy Guys, which I thought was pretty cool. Like I said, I always liked Yoshi's older design, and the fact that you could play as all 4 of, well, This was the first game, at least in my opinion. The N64 game might have actually. Yeah, he does look kind of red there. I always thought he was pink, but I don't know. Ah, we can't even do battle mode. We can only do race mode. But okay, that might be helpful. But yeah, he does look red there, doesn't he? In I used to always think he was pink. But yeah, all four of the different colored Yoshis. Um, but there is still something. I'll dig and see if I can find that other game here in a second. Oh wait, no, I know I don't have it. I gave it away to a friend along with my pink Game Boy. But there is still one more thing I can show you guys though. I need to get rid of this, and I need to pick up. I just need to pick up the right item. Here it is. Okay. Set it down. You can back up into banana peels, and a little music note will pop out. I don't know why it happens. I don't know in how many other. I don't know how many other Mario Kart games will let you do this, but yeah, this one just lets you back up into. It doesn't do anything. It's just cool that you can do it. And then you've also got. Basically just a red Yoshi, which is cool. And then there's also a blue and a yellow one if you're playing with all four of us, or all four people. And you can play, you know, um, uh, with all four of the original four colored Yoshis from Super Mario World. But yeah, um, there's not much more to it than that. But there are a couple other cool things I can't show you. But first things first, I'm gonna win the race. Which actually, I think you can do it here. I'll actually win the race with the red Yoshi. Which will be unfortunate because you guys won't be able to, I got a blue shell. That would have been really neat to show on screen. You can tell this game was made to play on, honestly, this game feels a lot more comfortable being on the Game Boy Advance screen than it does on the TV screen. One of the interesting things about this game. Yeah, see, he just murders you. uh, this game has ended. Turn off the power. Does that mean to the entire game? Or I could just do this. Oh no, it won't even let me do that. Okay. I'll hit the reset button real quick. So the last few things I can show you is when picking a race, you can go to any one of these characters, and you can see their character model up there, obviously. If you press the L button, you can fire green shells out of your car. They can also still jump, and you can also listen to their different horns. Alright, so that pretty much does it for this game. Um, yeah, there's not really anything else to really say about it or to do without that other card pack. But this is one of the games I do plan on going back to when I get my team together and I get my PC built. Surprisingly enough, or I do have some good news about it. I'm only missing one part, and that is I need one more capture card that I can put the whole thing together. And then we'll all just find a regular time to play. So, this has been really fun. It's been a really fun blast from the past. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.